Is there a medical professional present who can help? The first time I heard that was just a couple weeks into medical school. So I wanted to make a video reflecting on the first time I ever was in a situation in public where someone was having a medical situation and the sort of organizer of the event whatsoever, whatever you want to call them, asked, is there a medical professional present who can help? And so this was just a couple weeks ago, and this was an outdoor activity event that was within accord of state, local guidelines, my school guidelines, all of that stuff. So all in all, small gathering, outdoors, but still significant that this happened. And it was interesting to me that I never remember in my life this happening and me being there to witness it. And it was sort of interesting that it happened just a couple weeks into medical school. And so thankfully, there were some actual medical professionals present, because that ain't me. I will not pretend that's me. I still know basically nothing that would be clinically helpful or helpful if anyone is having a medical situation. And 2 weeks ago, I knew exponentially less. And so it's cool to think that just, a couple of weeks since this happened, I feel like I know a lot more, but I don't know anything. I would never, at this point in my life, stand up, raise my hand kind of thing and come forward. Besides like CPR, we were CPR certified and I would jump on any opportunity that I could potentially help someone. But it's interesting to think about that there might be a time in my life where I would get to stand up and say, yeah, I'm here and I might be able to help. And it's an interesting feeling that it's like, I want that to happen. And so obviously, if I go my whole life and nobody around me ever has a heart attack, stroke, seizure, fainting spell, whatever, I don't even know. That's like the amount of medical knowledge I have. That's about all I can list. But if someone has a medical emergency near me, like obviously that's not a good thing. I wish that on no one. Hopefully that never happens in my life. But there is part of me that like part of why I'm being a doctor is because I want to make an impact on people's lives. I want those opportunities. That's exciting to me. And so I'm curious how I would respond. I hope I wouldn't cower away from it. And maybe I would. Maybe I would be scared and want to be silent. Maybe it would take a while for me to raise my hand. I hope that if that situation ever happened, I would jump on it. I'd be, jump in ready to help. And I really hope I would be able to help. But I don't know. I really don't know. And so that's something that will be a future me question to answer. And I'm curious if that happens, when that first situation will be. Will it be when I'm a fourth year medical student and I know enough to potentially be helpful, but I'm not a doctor yet. So I really am not fully qualified yet, and maybe I'll be sort of called to help before I'm ready. Maybe it won't be until I'm in attending. Maybe it will be long after I'm in attending and I'm in a position in my career where I'm like highly specialized, just doing one specific type of orthopedic surgery. And I hope that I always stay up on all of my skills, that I'm not like, well, if it ain't a knee and it ain't a hip, I can't help you. Like I hope that I'm always a doctor first and foremost, that has enough knowledge to help people in emergent situations like that. But that's like a really special responsibility that I look forward to having one day. And it's like, there's a little bit of, whatever superhero that was that like, if you have the ability to respond, those with the ability have the responsibility kind of thing. Maybe that's not even a superhero. I don't know where that's coming from. And so there is a responsibility with that, but I think that's a privilege. That responsibility is a privilege that I hope to have one day. And it's like, that would be so gratifying just to have that responsibility. And that's a responsibility to everyone. That's not just to my patients. That's just to everyone I interact with, that I have the ability to potentially help them. And there's something special about being able to help people in a unique way that few people have the skill and training to do. And that's something that's really special about being a doctor, and part of why I want to be a doctor is to be able to help people in a unique way. And that's something I really look forward to being able to do, and part of what makes me excited to be a doctor. And so that was my biggest takeaway from this experience, is getting excited. And so I'm very thankful that the person was okay. The medical professionals that were there were able to help them. And it was, a happy ending to the story. And so I didn't have to stress about not regret, sort of future sight regret, that I regret I'm only a first year medical student and couldn't have already been a doctor to actually help the person, that people were there to help them. But it got me excited to be those people someday. And I look forward to that. So get excited. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you want to hear any more of my thoughts as I go along this journey of becoming a doctor, and I'm struggling through it, I'm having a fun time through it, and I'm thriving through it. But yeah, subscribe, hit the notification bell, like the video if you like the video, dislike the video if you dislike the video. Any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd love to hear them. Leave them down below. And until next time, don't be ordinary. Go be great.